but I want to get you an update on our road conditions. We did have some trouble this morning. Stacia Wilson is in this morning to give us an update.
Moriel, good morning. Good morning, everyone. If you can stay home today, definitely one of those days you want to stay inside. I'm just going to go through a few camera shots, kind of show you what's happening right now. US 80 eastbound at Town East, you have an 18-wheeler still blocking those lanes. I-35E and Valwood North, we had a pretty decent backup in those southbound lanes. That's already cleared out. And then 114 going over to Tarrant County. You have some slow-moving traffic there. You can see really from our cameras that people are definitely taking their time. If you do have to venture out, you want to err on the side of caution. That's definitely the route that you want to go. Around downtown Dallas, just driving in, I noticed people were definitely slowing down. What happens in these types of situations is that we have a little bit of drizzle that starts to pick up, and those temperatures that are definitely at the freezing point or lower, you can have these patchy ice conditions that definitely can cause some big problems on the roadway. So it's really just one of those things where maybe it looks okay, but once you get out there, you can really realize it's not a situation that you want to be in. So that's just why we're asking folks, if you can today, stay off the roadways. Just looking at the rest of the Metroplex, what we're dealing with in Dallas County, couple of problems. So I mentioned that you had that little bit of backup around US 80 eastbound at Town East Boulevard. And then areas east of Dallas County seeing some problems. We have some ice. This is right around Union Valley, I-20 westbound at FM 148, and then also I-20 eastbound at FM 1641. Over in Tarrant County, we are watching slow-moving traffic along I-35W through Fort Worth in those southbound lanes. All right, let's go ahead and check in with Chris Sadeghi, who has been along the High-5 all morning long. And Chris, I know you got to be cold. What's the situation like there now?
Yes, Stacia, it is cold, and it's been cold all morning, but we've been here because we like to keep an eye on the High-5 because we know when the temperatures drop below freezing, the bridges and overpasses, when they get some precipitation, can really be slick and dangerous. At least since we've been out here so far this morning, we haven't seen a whole lot of problems, but within probably the last couple hours or so, we're starting to see a little bit of that precipitation, some raindrops here and there, not a lot, but it doesn't take much, a little bit of misting. It's what we talked about all morning long, just a little bit. You can't see it. You get lulled into a sense of complacency, and you don't realize just how slick the roadways can be. That is why TxDOT has had their trucks out. We saw them out there yesterday. We've seen them out this morning. Really, they've been doing this since the end of last week when it dipped below freezing. They wanted to get out there and make sure that the roadways were pre-treated with that brine. It keeps the precipitation from sticking to the roadways. They've got their trucks out. They also told us that they'd have around 400 crews working at all times of the day, around the clock, treating those trouble areas where they pop up. But everybody needs to do their part. They urge everybody to lower their temperatures. Also, make sure your vehicles, that you have all the fluids topped off, that you gas up, have all your engine fluids filled up so that you don't run into any troubles out on the road in case of a breakdown. Make sure your tires are inflated because we know that happens during cold weather. So that's the situation over here on the Dallas side. We heard that the western side of the Metroplex could feel this first. That's why I'm going to send it out to Megan Mitchell, who's in Fort Worth.
Yeah, and Chris, we're seeing a lot of the same, but I think what's most important is that, especially if you are traveling on some of those raised surfaces, like the one that I'm standing on here, I'm on Terrell Boulevard, just above Route 30, and these types of surfaces freeze so much quicker, right? Because if you can stand below something, see the top of it, that's a raised surface, it's getting hit by that cold air from every direction. And so when I talked to Texas Department of Transportation, they were telling me that there are a number of things that they are really trying to do to make sure that everyone stays safe. Chris, you mentioned it, 24 hours, 24/7 people are working. Here in specifically Tarrant County, they have 150 vehicles of all shapes and sizes that are going around all of these roads. They started with these overpasses, and I think the overpasses is something that I do really want to underscore because just within the last several hours, we heard of a wreck that happened. This was earlier this morning. MedStar telling us that it happened just north of us in Fort Worth. An 18-wheeler slid off of a roadway down an embankment at Blue Mound Road and 287. That driver transported to the hospital. We are not sure of their condition, but just here in Fort Worth, When we talked to the police department, they were telling us that just today, they've already gone to 90 accidents. They've responded to them. So they expect that number to rise as, of course, this ice comes in within the next several hours. We'll keep you updated here, but the number one thing that they tell us is please be careful out on the roadways. Give those drivers who are trying to treat the roadways some patience. And of course, stay home if you can. If you have that option to work from home the next several days, they tell us that you should do it. Reporting live, Megan Mitchell, WFAA. I'm going to send it back to the studio right now.